All right, Unexplained ones, this is Dr. Mounts, and welcome back to All Things Unexplained. The podcast today is a little bit on the late side. We usually release very early every Monday, but I had a family emergency in Mississippi. But now I'm back in the All Things Unexplained studio. I want to give a quick shout out to our friends at Sasquatch Coffee Company. Check them out at squatchcoffee.com. And before we get into today's episode, the best way you can support the show is by hitting that subscribe button or the follow button, depending on where you're at. We would really appreciate that. And if you feel so inclined, give us a comment and like this video or this audio podcast. Plus, by commenting and subscribing, that will enter you into our giveaway opportunities, which I'll bring up a little bit more at the end of the podcast. We do have some exciting things coming up in 2026 already, including the Tedasco brothers from Nightcrawler Eye on the Sky project. We're also working on bringing our friend from the Roswell UFO Tours, Paul Simones, back on the show, along with a special guest from UFO Twitter, doing some amazing research over there. CJ and I are set to join Tony on the Sci-Fi podcast here very soon. We're also really looking forward to welcoming Bev Vincent, who is an author within the Stephen King multiverse. So that one is going to be epic. I promise you that much. And we've got author Drew Miller coming on the podcast very soon to discuss surviving the age of collapse, preparing for what comes next, maybe what comes after the apocalypse, when the stuff really hits the fan. Do you have your old snap bag ready to go? Is it hanging on a hook in the garage, ready to throw on in case the worst were to happen? And don't think it couldn't happen to you. But today we're going to talk a little bit about Dennis Asberg. Dennis is a Swedish explorer, diver, podcaster, and entrepreneur, best known for leading the Ocean X team and uncovering the enigmatic Baltic Sea anomaly. He made some comments recently that actually tied into the brand new trailer for Disclosure Day by Steven Spielberg, but might it tie into a pattern of even more disturbing things happening around the world? We'll get into all that right after Larry.
I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucers.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man's.
Did the CIA write Wind of Change by the Scorpions?
As humans busied themselves about the various concerns, they were scrutinized and studied.
Dr. Loeb, what percentage chance do you give it that you have indeed uncovered extraterrestrial or non-human technology?
With infinite complacence, people went about their affairs, yet across an immense ethereal gulf, intellects vast and unsympathetic drew their plans against us.
All of a sudden, a stick out of nowhere landed right in front of us, and there was no tree, nothing overhead. Something threw it at us.
Yeah. What's your hot take on Travis Taylor?
I've got an exclusive for you guys if you want it about the Alaska.
We do.
Okay.
Dr. Taylor was revealed to be the chief scientist of the UAP task force with the Pentagon.
All things unexplained.
So some of that, I think, sir, will save for closed session.
Okay, so Dennis Asberg, he's the founder and CEO of Ocean X. That's a Swedish deep-sea exploration company focused on historical shipwrecks, underwater anomalies, and archaeological finds. Ocean X has been passionate about exploring the unexplained underwater world, and Dennis's work has gained international notice through television interviews, documentaries, and media coverage. In June 2011, Asberg and partner Peter Lindbergh discovered a round, disc-shaped object approximately 60 meters across and resting at approximately 90 meters deep in the Gulf of Bothnia. Now, this object has sparked intense speculation. Is it a UFO, perhaps a Nazi relic, or just a volcanic formation, even causing reported electrical interference when crews have attempted to reach it? Asberg is on the record as saying, "We were really surprised and puzzled at what they had found. He said it could be something really awesome that we've found here, despite the fact that some scientists have concluded it's highly likely to be a natural rock formation shaped by glacial activity over the millennia. The mystery around the Baltic Sea formation still persists today. Dennis also has worked very closely with Beatrice Villarreal. Now, Beatrice co-authored along with Stephen Brule, who made an appearance on All Things Unexplained himself to discuss this paper, Transients in the Palomar Observatory Sky Survey, POSS-1, may be associated with nuclear testing and reports of unidentified anomalous phenomenon. Dr. Brule joined CJ and myself on All Things Unexplained to discuss that paper and other UFO UAP papers that he's working on. Now, Dennis and Beatrice have appeared together in several public appearances and interviews, but their research also overlaps in several ways, particularly with UAP and anomalous phenomenon. Villarreal's Vasco and ExoProbe projects explore unusual transient objects and potential technosignatures, while Asberg's Ocean X team investigates enigmatic underwater structures and other UAP type of narratives. They have also both acknowledged working very closely together on different projects. Dr. Brule is a statistics expert at Vanderbilt University, and Dr. Villarreal is an assistant professor of astrophysics at the Nordic Institute for Theoretical Physics, also known as Nordita, in Stockholm, Sweden. They are affiliated with Stockholm University, and apparently Dennis and Beatrice are working together at Nordita on exploration and scientific investigations. Recently, Dennis made some comments that sparked some intense curiosity at UFO Twitter when he made a comment about the mysterious clicking sounds in the trailer for the new movie Disclosure Day, which is a Steven Spielberg production. So that made everybody sort of take notice and say, whoa, what exactly is Dennis talking about here? What is familiar to him about these clicking sounds from Disclosure Day? Well, I'm going to play a small clip of the sounds that they're talking about from that trailer. This is from Disclosure Day by Steven Spielberg, the new trailer.
Let's is today's
Now, on New Year's Day, Dennis suddenly showed up in an X-Space ran by Doomer Daddy at Ulrich Neuhaar. I just happened to also be in the space while I was out walking my dog that morning, and I realized that, Dennis Asberg is in here, and he's suddenly talking about something very interesting, something which we at All Things Unexplained already had a particular eye on for some other reasons that we'll get into. Well, Dennis was asked about his association with these sounds from the Disclosure Day trailer. And here's what he had to tell UFO Twitter.
I was on my way from the archipelago with the car, and I called Beatrice, and she taking the train from her place, there she lives, and have drive for like 20 minutes, and suddenly the connection between me and her, but we both heard a sound of that remind me of this sound in the film for can it be 10 seconds, not 15, 10 seconds, and I thought it was something wrong with the telephone anyway, so I called her again and asked her, did you hear, I mean, what a crazy sound, and she said yes, it was, I have never heard anything like that before. And that was the first time. And then another day, I'm on my way to the office again. And I was closer to Stockholm at that time. The same thing popping up. And then I because it sounds like a person, but not really like we talking. Strange, like there is in this film with Spielberg. But then I say hello in Swedish. Then hello, and back I heard hello, and
No way!
no,
Whoa!
and then the our, and even Beatrice heard it also. And then I called her and asked her, "Did you hear that?" Yes, and we talked about it in the office later, and it's strange. And then was one more time. It was the same thing. I was in the car at that time also. Called her, and it sounds like a woman that is screaming. And then after that, it was that sound, the clicking sound or whatever, and gone, totally gone. That was
so. When did you hear a woman screaming? And you're saying these sounds are coming from the woods?
No, from the telephone.
From the telephone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I call her, and then that thing is popping up, and she hear it, and I hear it, but I cannot talk to her. She don't hear me because I hello, and then I said hello, hello, and then back hello, and I was what? So that was a little scary, I must say.
What were the conversations you've had with Beatrice around this? What are some of your theories of what was happening there on the telephone?
This was before the trailer also. I did not know anything about that film. So the first time I saw this trailer, I said to Beatrice, "Oh shit, do you hear that?" And she look at the trailer also, and we get like, "Wow, what's that?" I mean, we have heard it ourselves on the phone. So we talked about that, and
did that make you feel afraid, or did it make you feel okay?
More curious. So I began to talk with one person I talked to about, can it be some thing with a telephone disturbance, something that can make that sound? And he said that person that it can be sometimes you get that disconnected and then you hear a sound. But then I explained for him that sound, and I said to him, go in and look at the trailer and see if that sound there on Spielberg's trailer, have you heard anything like that? And he did, and no, he said, no, I have never heard anything like that. So no, it sounds like that almost.
And what about? Did I hear you correctly? So there was an echo from your hello. I grew up in Germany, so at least in Swedish, like the word's the same, hello. But there's probably not a lot of the other words that are the same. But so there was an echo there. Do you think it was another intelligence that was doing mimicry, that was learning? And what do you make of the woman screaming that you heard?
Oh, that was really scary, I must say. But that because a woman, it sounds like a woman that's screaming loud, very loud, and then it was gone. And what I make of it, I really don't know. Really, I don't know.
Okay, so I admit there's certainly people out there that believe this is some sort of NHI communication, non-human intelligence communication, interference on their phone calls from the phenomenon. But maybe I've watched too many spy movies. Maybe I've watched too much Law and Order. Maybe I watched too much Matlock and Perry Mason back in the day. But when I hear about strange sounds on the telephone, I think about something else. Now, we know Dennis and Beatrice both have a role at the Nordic Institute for Theoretical Physics in Stockholm. And there has been a trend of disturbing incidents with physicist. Quite shockingly, one of these incidents happened just right down the road from the All Things Unexplained studio. On August 28th, 2023, Z Yan, a physics professor at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, was murdered in cold blood at the university. His own graduate student, Talay Key, was charged with first-degree murder. Even more recently, on December 15th, 2025, Nuno Loureiro, 47 years old, director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, a leading nuclear fusion physicist, was also murdered in cold blood. The suspect is Claudio Neves Valente, a Portuguese physics graduate who was a former classmate of Loureiro at Lisbon's Instituto Superior Técnico. Quite strangely, Valente also shot up a building at Brown University just days earlier, and he escaped from that. Valente died by suicide during the manhunt for him, leaving investigators with few answers about motive, though strategic value of fusion work was noted. And of course, we'll have to wonder how much more we'll find out about that, if anything. These are just a couple of incidents in a global pattern of disturbing events that we've been tracking for quite a while now, including attacks on infrastructure in the United States, on the power grid, on the internet grid, including airport shutdowns in Europe, including airspace incursions of our military bases and our airports as well. But there are also things happening in Sweden itself, particularly very near where Dennis and Dr. Villarreal both work. In May of 2025, a high-ranking Swedish diplomat was taken into custody by Sweden's domestic security agency, SAPO, on suspicion of espionage. Very few details about this incident were released, and All Things Unexplained has tried to find out more about it, but there just has been nothing. Male, female, age, exactly where they were arrested. There is no information. We have no actual confirmation that this is related to Nordita, the Institute of Theoretical Physics. Prosecutors did confirm that the diplomat had been detained and questioned. They described the diplomat as a senior official who had served in multiple embassies across the globe. The diplomat maintained their innocence throughout this process, and their lawyer publicly stated that their client denied all allegations and insisted they had done nothing wrong. It seems the diplomat actually filed a complaint against the Swedish police, claiming excessive force during their arrest and even sought medical attention after their release. So at All Things Unexplained, we thought, wow, that's really interesting. We now know for a fact that yes, indeed, there was someone taken into custody in Sweden for spying. Now, we thought the story had come to an end as far as what we could find out, because searching through these Swedish news archives is quite difficult. But we uncovered a shocking update on this story. Just days after being released from custody, this diplomat was found dead in Stockholm. The foreign ministry confirmed the diplomat had died, but they declined to offer further public details out of respect for the family. So here we have a case that involves allegations of espionage in Sweden at a very high level, and a tragic outcome that remains officially shrouded in silence. We have reached out to multiple entities and have found out nothing. As a matter of fact, some of the entities we reached out to literally never acknowledged us in any way whatsoever. While the Swedish public and media have sought clarity on this situation, much, if not all, of the detailed evidence and intelligence remains confidential and therefore completely hidden from the public. Now let's circle back to Dennis Asberg and Beatrice Villarreal and the strange sounds that they are hearing on their telephone. Sounds that remind them of the unusual clicking noises from the Disclosure Day trailer. Could this be interference from a non-human intelligence, or could it be something much more frightening and down to earth? Let us know what you think And now to go over our giveaway stuff, we've got a signed copy of Sharp Force by our friend Patricia Cornwell. And we've got an amazing gift package from our friends at Sasquatch Coffee Company. Check them out at squatchcoffee.com. All you have to do is subscribe to All Things Unexplained on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@allthingsunexplained. Like this video and comment, and you'll be entered into our giveaways. But for now, I am Dr. Mounts, and I want to encourage everybody this week, invest in your health and wellness. Get off your screens for a little while. Get outside. Take your dog on a walk. Find a clear night this week just to get away from the lights of your neighborhood or your town or city and look up at the sky for a little while. You'll find that these small investments in your health might pay big dividends. Maybe you'll see a Sasquatch, maybe not. Maybe you'll spot a UFO, maybe not. I can't guarantee any of those will happen, but what you might find out there is something even more important. You might just find yourself. Until next time, I'm Dr. Mounts, and on behalf of CJ and Smitty, this has been All Things Unexplained. Thanks, everybody.
I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucers.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man's.
Did the CIA write Wind of Change by the Scorpions?
As humans busied themselves about the various concerns, they were scrutinized and studied.
Dr. Loeb, what percentage chance do you give it that you have indeed uncovered extraterrestrial or non-human technology?
With infinite complacence, people went about their affairs, yet across an immense ethereal gulf, intellects vast and unsympathetic drew their plans against us.
All of a sudden, a stick out of nowhere landed right in front of us, and there was no tree, nothing overhead. Something threw it at us.
Yeah. What's your hot take on Travis Taylor?
I've got an exclusive for you guys if you want it about the Alaska.
We do.
Okay.
Dr. Taylor was revealed to be the chief scientist of the UAP task force with the Pentagon.
All things unexplained.
So some of that, I think, sir, will save for closed session.